And with the 29th pick in the draft, the Dallas Cowboys select offensive tackle from Oklahoma, Tyler Guyton is the pick for the Dallas Cowboys. Not one of the players listed by our own Micah Parsons. Tyler Guyton is a heck of a process. We'll get to push-ups in a second. Out of Oklahoma, fourth-year junior.
Needless to say, the preceding clip had Cowboys fans heated at one Micah Parsons for yet again another polarizing appearance on his podcast with Bleacher Report. The response Micah Parsons gave to the Cowboys picking Tyler Guyton with the 29th overall pick, in contrast to his response he gave to the Eagles picking Kenyon Mitchell just a few picks before the Guyton pick, has Cowboys fans raising their eyebrows, and some of them are using this moment as yet another flashpoint illustrating the lack of leadership, immaturity, and lack of competitive desire that Micah Parsons displays anytime he's on his podcast.
And with the pick, the 22nd pick, the Eagles, yes! Selecting Micah Parsons' favorite player for the second straight year, quarterback out of Toledo, Quinyon Mitchell. Oh man, hold on, let me pull up my stats and all my notes. We'll do the video and then we'll check in on him. Quinyon Mitchell out of Toledo, a 4.33 40. Holy moly, is this guy fast.
Now yeah, in a vacuum, looking at those two clips, it could absolutely make you feel as if Micah is downplaying the pick of his own team and once again heralding what another organization is doing. Given that Cowboys fans have to deal with San Francisco players wearing F Dallas t-shirts and talking smack about us any chance they get and rarely ever saying a good word about the team at all, they have to deal with Philly fans and their players going on the NFL draft stage and unprovoked saying Dallas sucks.
Go blue all day, baby. A-E-A-G-L-E-S, Eagles. And y'all already know, all day, Dallas sucks all day.
Whoa. And then they have to see one of their own overly praising the moves that a heated rival is making, a divisional rival at that. I can completely understand why some Cowboys fans may feel a way about Micah Parsons' activity. However, that's why context is very important. That's why it's extremely important for you as a seeker of information to go out and ensure that you seek proper context, full context for any clip that you may see that triggers you, because the information that you may get to piece the rest of the puzzle together may actually take a little bit of the sting off. If you initially only seen this post made by Kevin Gray Jr., you probably felt some type of way. You probably felt like Micah Parsons wasn't being a good teammate. You probably felt like he was showing a disdain at the pick that the Cowboys made, and you probably felt like it was the wrong thing to do. However, when you receive proper and full context, which can be found either by watching the actual full stream or seeking out other clips from this very same stream, in fact, clips that happen either seconds after or before the clips that may be polarizing, then again, it may make you think differently about this entire situation.
What is your reaction?
I'm not mad at the pick. I think Guyton was like my fourth guy, as I said earlier in the show. I think this is a productive pick. Obviously, losing on Tyron Smith. We need more depth out there on that left tackle. So I think it's very interesting. We still got a lot of room. I think he has some great guys to look after. You got Tyler Smith, who critiques Zach Martin. We still got some veteran leadership. Terrence Steele bouncing back. So I like the pick. It's not a bad pick. We picked up depth. We needed O-line help, and we went and got him in the first round. And I'm never going to question Will McClay and what he's done. I mean, Tyron Smith, Zach Martin, Tyler Smith. I mean, he really hasn't missed in this department. So I agree with the pick, and I like it.
So you can see there, the original clip really made it seem like Micah hated the pick of Tyler Guyton. But with the context that was just provided and the context that he himself provided, apparently his initial response was just at the fact that they had a nice, friendly, competitive game going to where if you were wrong about a team's draft picks, you were going to have to do push-ups, right? So you could hear Brian Lefkoe actually tell Micah, we'll get the push-ups later in the original clip. So yes, the response of him saying, hey, I only responded like this because I had to do push-ups. I didn't really want to do them. I like the Tyler Guyton pick. I'm buying it. Personally, I'm buying it. And even if you aren't buying it, one thing that you have to admit as a Cowboys fan is anytime that Micah Parsons has done something that brings into question his commitment to not only the Dallas Cowboys as an organization, but the Dallas Cowboys fan base, he goes out of his way to make it very clear where he stands. Micah Parsons made an appearance today at the 76ers and Knicks playoff game, and Micah could be seen yelling, "Let's go Cowboys." And again, this was during a Philly game, so he's doing this in enemy's territories. If his comments and his responses to the Eagles draft picks and the Cowboys draft picks and just his live reactions to the NFL draft, which I think as fans, all of us probably had those kind of reactions if it wasn't like a splash or a flashy type of player picked. All of us probably initially had like a man, what the heck, or a puzzled look on our face. And then we realized, hey, this is actually a pretty damn good pick for what they're trying to accomplish. But either way, Micah goes out of his way to make sure that it's clearly understood where he stands and where his loyalties lie as it pertains to his desire to want to be a Dallas Cowboy. Now, let's go ahead and have the conversation that I know a lot of the angry fans are wanting to have as it pertains to Micah Parsons and his activity on social media and his podcast and all the other stuff, right? First and foremost, I'm going to say this. Micah, don't make it a habit getting seen with Michael Rubin. I don't know if you've seen it, bro, but they got some sketchy pictures going around. His name is attached to some weird stuff, so that's not the dude you want to be seen around. But all in all, bro, I'm going to say this as it pertains to all the criticism around Micah Parsons and his activity off the field. I think that the best advice I could give to Micah Parsons as it pertains to dealing with the heat, the criticism, the perceptions of the fan base is just be mindful of what Cowboys fans have to deal with and then what you may or may not be adding on to as it pertains to that, okay? The reason I say that is just think about this. Cowboys fans have to deal with ESPN, FS1, every major news outlet, every major analyst, every major news source, every major Twitter account, every other team's fan bases. The Cowboys fans have to deal with all these factors pulling against them, rooting against them, trolling them, kicking them whenever they're down, kicking us whenever we're down as a fan base. We have to deal with that on a regular basis. We have to deal with watching the NFL draft and still having to receive shots from opposing players' teams. We have to deal with all types of foolishness that other fan bases and other fans of other teams don't have to deal with. Micah, all I can say is this, man. I think when you're deciding on what it is that you want to do, you have to kind of take a step back and be like, could this negatively impact the Cowboys fan base? If you care about how the Cowboys fan base is looking at you, if you don't care and you want to be more of an ambassador for the entire NFL versus an ambassador for the Dallas Cowboys, then that's your prerogative, bro. You're well within your rights to exercise that plan of action. But to be looked at as a beloved Dallas Cowboy and avoid having these people wanting to trade you over silly stuff or just avoid having fans looking at you in a sour way and honestly kind of splitting your fan base, because that's honestly what's happening right now is Micah Parsons going from being like the most beloved Dallas Cowboy a year or two ago to now he's one of the most polarizing Cowboys, and he has alienated a portion of his fan base because that portion of this fan base doesn't appreciate the fact that our players are all buddy and friendly with other guys and sitting down and talking with the playoff quarterback that just sent us home and then going and giving compliments to other teams' players and constantly giving kudos and props to our divisional rivals. I can absolutely see why some of the more diehard fans, why more traditional fans would feel a way about that, man, as you just don't want to see your professional athletes laying it on that much. We didn't see Kobe Bryant doing that as it pertains to any other team in the league. Hell, he barely did it with his own teammates. We didn't see Michael Jordan doing that. We didn't see the GOATs. We didn't see the greats of the greats doing it. We didn't see Tom Brady doing that. So it is kind of a hard pill to swallow as Dallas Cowboys fans when you have to be okay with your own players kind of almost showing too much love to a fan base and an entity that absolutely hates our guts, that wants the worst for us at all times. There's rarely, if ever, a time where Philly fans have said or shared nice words about Cowboys fans or Cowboys players. It just doesn't happen. We don't see Philly players going out of their way to say nice words about our guys outside of Darius Slay, and he was Dak Prescott's old teammate. We really don't see any of those guys with anything nice to say about us. And from a competitive standpoint, from an outside perception, I think that you have to be a little bit more aware of how that stuff comes off and how it can affect your fan base when you're a major representative of the Cowboys as a brand now. You are, Micah. You are a major representative. You're one of the faces of the Cowboys, whether it be our fan base, our franchise, whatever. You're one of the faces right now, and Cowboys fans just feel some type of way.
And at the end of the day, I think it's just as tribal and as simple as you're giving Philly fans ammo to be able to say to Cowboys fans, hey, your best player wants to be a Philadelphia Eagle. You know what I'm saying? And that's what it kind of gives off. And I don't know if you're aware of that, but that's where Cowboys fans that have an issue with, I guess, how friendly or nice you're being, complimentary you're being of the Eagles and other franchises. I think that's more so where the issues are rooted. I don't think they would have as much of an issue if it was like an AFC team or you were giving kudos to Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. I think it's mainly the fact that it's divisional rivals and it's fan bases that are intent and they love to really rub it in on Cowboys fans. And our best player is seemingly giving them ammo. Again, I don't subscribe to this mentality because I don't look at things that way. I don't let that kind of stuff affect me. But the portion of the fan base that is upset, that's probably where they're coming from. And we can't just simply discount it as ridiculousness because that same mentality is represented across other job fields as well. If you work for Coca-Cola, you cannot be caught drinking Pepsi products. You will get in trouble with your boss. I'm serious. Ask Coca-Cola warehouse workers what will happen if they walk into that warehouse with a Pepsi product. If you are signed to Nike, you better not get caught wearing Adidas. So the aspect of tribalism involved with fans having an issue with Micah being complimentary of Eagles, I do understand.
Let me know your guys' thoughts on this down in the comments below. I think as fans, we have to be very, very careful about what we ask for and what we wish for. I see people using these moments to say that they want to trade Micah or they don't want Michael on their team or anything. You have to be very careful what you're wishing for and what you're asking for. But I think that's the last measure you need to take as it pertains to what Michael's doing and his activity off the field. If you don't like what he's saying or what he's doing, just try to avoid looking at it. Try to avoid seeing it. I get it, man. But at the same time, we as fans do have to still operate with a level of respect. And we have to still make our fan base be one that the players want to pull for, that the players want to represent. Because if we are constantly attacking our best players, then who are we going to have left that wants to stick up for us, that wants to carry that mantle for us? If we're constantly beating down and punching down on all of our best guys. We're punching down on Dak. We're punching down on CD. We're punching down on Micah. We're punching down on everyone. Who's going to be left to actually want to stick up for our fan base and want to really be the face of the team and carry that weight? Who's going to want to do that, man? If they're not even getting supported by their own fan bases, then why should they show that kind of loyalty to us? You see what I'm saying? So there is a give and take, but just all in all, this relationship with Micah and the fan base, I can tell this is going to be a very contentious one because Micah's moving to the beat of his own drum, man. He has his own stuff going on, and he's going to continue to do that stuff, and he's a very outspoken and vocal guy, and unless that approach changes at some point, Cowboys fans are just going to have to be okay with him sharing his opinion on things. And I mean, I think that's just where I'm at with it personally. I think you just have to kind of be okay with him sharing his opinions on things, but I'm not going to start hating one of my best players just because he's doing the same thing that I'm doing and talking about sports. I think that's just ridiculous, right? But either way, we stay them same old Cowboys. See you guys on the next one.
Calling me, texting me, paging me, asking me, am I still them boys? Y'all usually check on me. Listen. I'm still them boys. Hey! Woo! Hey! I'm still them boys.